Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakak Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations and much love to rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. This is the cleric Izar coming at you with another lesson. I am continuing my lot to bring you my ongoing series from excerpts of Hollywood, This Factory of Perverseness. Another observation of predictive programming and how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. A correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movie scenes to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether they be foreign or domestic, and I just use snippets as an example to bring out similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, Esau is the Mad Hatter. The image I have on display is from an animated series I watched a long time ago. Of course, being the truth, I reflected on this particular episode. Don't get this confused with the Mad Hatter from Alice in Wonderland. This episode was released on October 8th, 1992. The title of it is Mad as a Hatter, as you can see. It's the title card for the Batman animated series. It's directed by Frank Power. And basically, I was just getting all souped up ready for the release of the Batman this weekend, played by Robert Pattinson. I just happened to stumble upon this episode. Quick synopsis. This is based on a villain from Batman's Rogue Gallery. And you don't necessarily hear about this guy that often. As a matter of fact, I got to do some further research because he originally debuted in 1948, but his name is the Mad Hatter. And in the animated series, he was introduced in the episode titled Mad as a Hatter, as you can see here on the screen. And his real name is Jervis Tetch. And he's shy and he's quite kind, but he's a technical and electronic genius. Now get this, you're going to love this. Basically, all of his technology is based on experiments with animals using mind-controlling microchips. And it's stored within his hat to stimulate brainwaves, okay? And he's basically a scientist who works for Wayne Enterprises. And he had in this particular episode, he had a project where he uses the microchips to increase the brain's potential. And he's developed this technology that allows him to control the minds and bodies of any animal or person he wants to by using the microchips that are attached to the brain and to the other person, which is him. And so throughout different incarnations, he frequently uses this technology as well as mind control devices to commit his crimes. And I'm surprised this hasn't come across my radar in recent years, and he's been in several films and so forth. But in this particular episode, and I think in other episodes as well, the voice actor for Jervis Tetch, aka the Mad Hatter, is Roddy McDowall. And I'm not sure if you know who Roddy McDowall is, but Roddy McDowall is from the Planet of the Apes, which is one of my favorite films. He plays Cornelius in the first film, the father of Caesar, and later on he plays Caesar in part 3, 4, and 5. I'm sorry. He plays Cornelius in the first and third film and Caesar in the fourth and fifth. Okay. Another actor played Cornelius in part 2, which was Beneath the Planet of the Apes. But he also played Galen on the television series, which is out of print. Okay. But I got to go through all this. I got both series on regular DVD and Blu-ray, so I'm going to be watching some of the other episodes too. But he's in this episode, Mad as a Hatter, Perchance to Dream. He makes a cameo in Joker's Wild, The Worry Men, Trial, and makes another cameo and Make 'em Laugh. And in all these particular episodes, he uses these microchips to take control of his victims to commit his crimes. So this is why I call this video Esau's the Mad Hatter, because he wants to do the same thing by implanting this device, the RFID microchip, into the entire population of the world, as pertains to Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. Now, even in this episode, there's a scene where the villain, the Mad Hatter, is basically talking to himself, talking about himself being God, because he wants to plant this device into the entire Gotham City population. And when I think about this, I think about the scriptures, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 4, where it reads, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as the Most High sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. Okay, and that's basically what Esau, the so-called white man, has been up to since he came into power with iconoclasm, which is, just look what he did during the Renaissance period. You know, he painted himself as the son of the Most High, as well as the angels, the Most High himself, as well as Adam, etc., etc. Okay, and basically with his entire plan of trying to get this charagma going and this trying to get the mark of the beast going with his new world order, the elect's going to be tested and tempted, but they're going to pass according to prophecy. Okay, specifically as pertaining to Romans chapter 11, verse 4, where it says, I reserve myself 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Okay, and the elect are basically watching for what this man has planned. Hopefully I'm part of that number. Okay, when you read 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, it reads, lest Satan should get an advantage for us, and Satan is an adversary. All right, but it's basically talking about Esau, Edom, so-called white man. For we are not ignorant of his devices. And this is what this RFID microchip is. It's a device, but it's ultimately his plan that's linked in with the New World Order. And basically Esau has set it in his mind, and his intentions are to assume the position of the Most High because of the birthright as well as the blessing that he didn't obtain as it pertains to the book of Genesis. Now, how do we know that? Well, in Isaiah chapter 14, starting at the 13th verse, it says, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. And that's what he's done with his space program. Reading on, I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High. And that's that rulership position above the stars of the Most High, which the stars are the Israelites. Reading on, I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Verse 14, I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High. See that? Okay. Verse 15, yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, which is the grave, to the sides of the pit. Okay, so destruction is basically coming to him as pertains to him after he serves his sentence, as it pertains to the book of Obadiah and other books in the Holy Scriptures. But Esau Edom has had us as slaves and wants to continue that master and slave position. But we don't belong to him. We belong to the Most High because we're Israelites. We're that precious family that the Most High made unto himself. And Esau mainly wants the elect. He can care less about the 2/3 or the other nations. But he mainly wants the elect because that's the next ruling class that is going to inherit the kingdom of heaven as joint heirs to Yahushua, the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. And like I said, the elect is the main people that Esau Edom is out to get. All right, because the elect is the bride to the groom, which is Yahushua. Okay. But destruction is coming to him, just like I said earlier. When you read Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 6, it reads, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him, and woe is destruction. Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. Okay, like I said, the Israelites are not his, not Esau's. Okay, mainly the elect. So the 2/3, a lot of them, are going to take the chip. Some of them even took the Maxine Waters, the Jabberwocky, and a lot of them are going to go ahead and take this chip as well, which is the mark of the beast. Okay, reading on, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Okay, and that thick clay is the debt system that he has created, which is going to fall back on him and cause his own financial system to collapse. But it's not his plan. Ultimately, it's the Most High's plan that made him to commit these acts. Okay, let's get Zechariah chapter 2, verse 7. Zechariah 2, verse 7, it reads, deliver thyself, O Zion, which is Israel, the Israelites, that dwellest with the daughter of Babylon. Okay, and that's right here in aka America. Verse 8, for thus saith the Lord of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. And those nations which spoiled us, the Israelites, you can read about Psalms 83 and listen all the way down. For he that toucheth you touches the apple of his eye. Okay, just like I said earlier, we're the Most High's. Okay, And the Most High is definitely watching over the elect, ultimately Israel, because the 2/3 will return back in the kingdom, but they're going to get death on this side, especially if they take that chip. Okay. But I always like to end my videos on a good note with some type of silver lining, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there is a happy ending. When you read Isaiah chapter 14, verse 2, it reads, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids." Okay, so Esau wanted to maintain that master-slave position. So basically, he's going to be put into the servitude position that he's supposed to be in. And the real masters of the world, as well as the masters of the universe, are going to be the elect of the nation of Israel. Reading on, "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Let me read that again. "And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land, O Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." Okay, so basically an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. All right, this is going to come back on Esau's head. So, like I said, I was just watching this, and I was just thought I was getting away from it all just for a minute. You know, just realizing that this is not our rest. As soon as this episode started playing, and the Mad Hatter was talking about his plans, and he was talking about these microchips, I just had to do a lesson on this, because I just was like, wow, it's like Esau has no creativity and no originality whatsoever. But just thinking about how far back this was. This was just back in 1992. So I was about to get out of high school when this debuted. This went right over my head. But just being in this truth, like I said, I saw the similarities with it. Just wanted to share it with you guys. I just want, hopefully this, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and endure in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.